parasha talks about Bilam. Bilam was a prophet, and just like Moshe, he had direct communication with God. However, unlike Moshe, he used his powers for the bad, for evil, to curse people. And specifically in this parasha, we learn about how he wanted to curse the Jewish people. A man was walking in the forest, and he comes across a labourer trying to chop down a tree. Sweat was pouring down his face, and he's putting all his efforts into trying to chop this tree down. The man says to him, "What's the problem?" And the labourer replies, "My saw's blunt, I'm just not getting through this tree." The man's a little confused. He says to the labourer, "Why don't you stop? Why don't you sharpen your saw?" The labourer replies, "I don't have time for that. I'm trying to chop my tree down." Usually, when you open up a Torah, you'll notice that there's paragraphs in between the text. It's really interesting to note though, and this parasha is the only parasha in the Torah that actually is a continuous flow of text with no breaks. So why is that? It must be teaching us something. A break symbolizes a pause, a time to stop, to reflect, to think about something. And that's exactly what these breaks in the Torah symbolize. This is exactly what Moshe did in his life. When he would have a spiritual experience, he would make sure to occasionally pause, to integrate the experience and to grow from it. Unlike Moshe, Bilam did not pause. He did not take a break. He would just keep running through his life quickly, next, and not allowing those experiences to affect him. It's interesting to understand that Moshe and Bilam both had direct communication with God, yet look who Moshe was, and look who Bilam was. Bilam never stopped to think, why have I been given these powers? What can I actually do with them? Perhaps there's a good purpose I was given them for. Instead, he just kept running through life and unfortunately using them in the wrong way. In our quest to becoming givers, it's so important to stop every now and again in our busy lives and to think about what we're doing and how we're acting. Are we giving enough? Are we doing enough for other people? Are we sensitive enough? Are we just running through life missing the opportunities? If we don't take that time to pause, we can miss so much. It might be easier said than done. But if we could just take a little bit of time, carve some time out at the end of the day, a couple of minutes, time to reflect, those pauses could make all the difference. We need to pause to sharpen the saw, and then our labour will be more effective in the long term. Be great, be a giver, pause and reflect. Shabbat Shalom.